Hey, what's up there, everybody? This is Thavius Beck. In the following tutorial course, we're going to take a deep dive into Ableton's Push 3, which I have standing here in front of me. I guess I should say it's laying on the table. This is the standalone version of Push 3, so it has all the functionality of the regular non-standalone version, the one that doesn't come with a computer and battery. And we're going to explore all of the controller mode functions first before we dive into the standalone functionality. Because obviously there's a ton of overlap, but it's also important to understand certain things that don't necessarily work in the standalone mode, where you will need to rely on either being in controller mode or simply prepping the set on the computer and transferring it to Push. Before we get into all that, just a quick overview of what's new. As you look at Push, one of the big standout features is the brand new bed of pads here. These support MPE, which means that you can play in a much more expressive way. You can bend pitch on the notes individually. You can play around with different settings to just make it more expressive. There's a lot of instruments that take advantage of this, so we'll explore some of those as we start. You can also see that we have these nice little jog wheels over here, which make navigating menus a lot easier. You can turn it, you can click it, you can even move it left and right. Yeah, there's some new buttons and the layout is a little bit different, but for the most part, if you've used Push, this should feel pretty familiar. The first thing I want to do before we do anything else is make sure that we're in the appropriate mode. So if I look in the upper left, I see that there's buttons here that'll let me choose different settings. Here I can select projects. Here I can change the settings, and this is the main thing I want to look at. But before we get into the settings, there's a button here which hopefully will end up doing more than just taking you to a QR code, but this is for lessons that are on the Ableton website. And last but not least, there's also a user mode here where if you just want to use this as more of a generic MIDI control surface, you can. But ultimately what I want to do is go to the settings. I'm going to have to push the user mode button again to get out of that. Press the settings button. Okay. Right now we can see under status, it says Push is standalone, and I want to control Ableton Live before we go further. So the button above where it says Control Live, this pad is what I have to press. And next to me, I have my laptop with Ableton Live open. So we're going to switch into controller mode and bam. So it looks just like it did when we started initially, but now I'm actually controlling Ableton Live on my computer. So let's explore how we can use Push to navigate the browser, load some content, create some cool musical ideas, and do it all from the hardware.